Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Islamic Finance program. My name is Almir Colan. We are talking about Islamic finance and Islamic rules regarding money and finance. Today we are going to tackle one very interesting topic. And this is a topic that I spend most of my time studying and researching, and I feel even now that I'm just barely scratching the surface of this so deep topic. I mean, when people talk about riba, interest, they usually think, oh, it's just something with, you know, my credit card or my home loan, and that's it. You know, why so much fuss? What you need to study, it's already clear. We understand it all. I mean, some kind of sin where it brings it to the level of war with Allah is not something that is so obvious, easy, especially in today's society when this same riba can have hundreds of different shapes, and it can hide in unusual places. And people don't realize what this simple principle can become later. And I have always seen, whenever I deal with institution or students or anybody who is involved in products or making some sort of judgment on certain contracts, that fundamentally errors come from understanding the basic principle. When you understand this basic principle, you can then look at a more sophisticated product, whether it's derivative, all of these things, contracts, anything you like, and you will see, after you strip it out of the decoration, at the core of it is either riba or not. And therefore, what we are going to do today is we're going to go back to the basics of what is riba, how do we recognize it, and then we will look at some more complex transactions and so on to see what sort of shape this riba takes in modern transaction. Because when you see Prophet ﷺ talking about gold for gold, then somebody asks, okay, what does this gold for gold, barley for barley has to do with what we have today economy? You know, where I don't see barley, I don't see gold, I don't see what is. It is directly related, and the wisdom and everything, inshallah, will be apparent to us. So let's go into the couple of key points. Types of riba. Okay, types of riba. Anyone know types of riba?
You get riba nasi'a?
Yep, riba nasi'a.
Riba al-fadl.
Riba al-fadl. Okay, we will now throw these words around, and then as we go, we will see what they mean basically. Let's look at the basic sale contract. Okay, if I want to sell something, some sort of goods, I want to give it. Okay, and we want to pay with the money. Okay. Now this is a basic sale between A and B. All right. Now this is what we say in the contract. What is this object that is being sold called?
Subject matter.
Subject matter. Okay. Subject matter. And this is payment or consideration. Yeah. All right. Now what are the two things that can affect each contract? Number one is I can pay later. Okay? If I don't have money now, I get something from you, and then I pay later. That is what we call like a type of a credit sale. So time is number one thing. Okay? So time is number one thing that affects transaction. When do you make a payment? What is the other one?
Cash.
What do you mean cash?
To pay it
all right, so we have a cash. So the time could be, you are right, on the spot or credit.
Or credit.
So
okay.
That's what we mean by time. It can be now, it can be later.
Okay.
Okay. What is the second part that can affect any transaction, any contract? It's how much.
How much?
All right, so how much of this we are paying. So we call this a surplus. Okay. Now, if these are the two fundamental results that can affect any transaction, then riba, which is found in the commercial contracts, in the sales contracts and similar, can be affected by one of these two. Okay? So if the contract comes under category where riba could affect that contract, and we will discuss that a little bit later, which contracts are these. If it comes in arrangement where it is a transaction where we must screen for riba, then riba could come in two shapes. One that affects it through the time, through the surplus, or both. Okay. Therefore, we will see the riba that comes as a result of timing is what?
Nasi'a.
Nasiya. Okay, so there is delay, there is a credit. Okay. What we call a type of riba that affects how much quantity?
Al-Fadl.
Riba al-Fadl. Okay. So this is why we say riba in Nasiya is a riba of delaying something. And why would you delay something?
Because you don't have the money on you, your credit.
Sure. Where then riba is obvious there? Usually you delay to get more from someone.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what where this loophole is, you know, for the people who do it. And so we say, in general, this is delay in settlement of one or two of these counter values. So these are values, these are 1, 2. So the counter values, so riba nasiya comes when you're delaying settlement of one of these. Not in every transaction, we will see in which transaction. And also riba al-fadl is a riba of surplus, is when one counter value or other in a barter transaction or specific commodity is more. Okay, so it gives a rise. Okay, let's now, this might not be immediately clear what do we mean. So let's look at a couple of examples, okay? All right. This is very famous narration, okay? Once Bilal brought some dates. It was very nice Barney dates to the Prophet ﷺ. And Prophet ﷺ asked him, like, you know, these are very nice dates. Where did you get these from? Are all of your dates like this? It's, you know? So Bilal said, I had some inferior dates, so lower quality dates, and they were approximately 2 sa, so about 6 kilos. And he said, and I changed this for a smaller quantity, about 3 kilos or 1 sa of these Barney dates. And why did he do that?
In order, because to give it to give the best quality to the Prophet.
That's right. So was he oppressed? Was he, like these people say, riba is always when it is oppression and injustice, and was he oppressed? Was Bilal oppressed?
It was a normal,
was he happy to do that?
It was a normal transaction.
It is a beautiful thing, you know. He says, I want to take 6 kilo of these kind of dates and exchange it for 3 kilograms of these kind of dates. I mean, out of my free will and to please the Prophet. I love to do that, to please Prophet ﷺ, to give us something nice. So what did Prophet ﷺ say? The Prophet ﷺ said, beware, beware. This is definitely riba. This is definitely riba. Okay? So this is first of all argument of the people who say some type of loans today, when they are commercially, they are not exploitation, therefore they are not riba. We see there is no exploitation here, but still it's riba. It violates one of the principles. So what the Prophet ﷺ said, he said, number 1, Bilal, if you want to do this, okay, do like I'm telling you now. If you want to do that, sell inferior dates for money. Okay? Sell inferior dates for money.
Money.
Okay?
Yes.
And then buy superior dates with that money. Okay. Now some smart guys might say, isn't that going to be the same thing? Maybe. Maybe it will be. Okay? But this is a principle. This is a rule. What do we see here? Number 1 thing. First of all, how do we know Bilal got a good deal here? Did he exactly get the right one? How do we judge? We said before, money is a judge between the commodity. It tells us, first of all, there is also there is some uncertainty here. What sort of price are we getting? What are we, 3, 4, 6, or this and for that? So this level we don't know simply. What do we need? We need medium of exchange, which is money. And therefore you see, when you exchange things into the money, and then money in something else, this is, even when it comes to the same, this is allowed. Okay, and this goes back to what we were saying before, money for money or money being transferred into something else. Okay, so this is number one. What sort of riba is here?
This is riba al-fadl.
Riba al-fadl, because we have unequal to, when we were exchanging, we had unequal to, so this is a fadl, so this is unequal surpluses being exchanged on the spot. So this is not allowed. And also scholars say, if you are doing this, there is one step you need to do. Remember, what did we say? One of the parts of the contract is to break the majlis. So how would Bilal practically do this? He would sell his dates for money and then walk away.
Yes.
Okay, he would leave the majlis, break the meeting. And then, if he wish, he goes back and with the money buy something or go to someone else. What's the reason for this? What's the wisdom? Well, sometimes if I don't break the majlis and he gives me this for money, then I'm sort of intimidated and go back to him to buy. I might not get the real deal, isn't it?
Yes.
It wouldn't kind of work.
Yes.
So here, it's, I got the price, market price for my dates. Now I'm free to choose where I go. And then I get the, again, best deal. So I'm ensuring that I get the best deal for my dates and also for my money I get the best thing. So this is that justice. This is the clarity. Otherwise I might have a suspicion, did he give me the best? Even if I like it or not, you see? So this riba and other aspects of it is very important. Now I'll give you, yep.
So basically, after Bilal done this year, when he sold his 6 kgs for money, and then he broke the majlis in order so that we don't make it all one, so that it becomes a force on him to now use that.
He could be forced, and the sale is not concluded until majlis is broken, you remember?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, for example, what do we see often this example today, for instance? You go with your wife, or your sister, or your mother in the jewelry store, all right? And you have 2 maybe rings, okay? So you have 1 ring, which is maybe 5 grams, okay? And you have another ring, which is another 5 grams. And these are old rings. So you walk into the store, and you know, you say, I have 2 of these, I don't really need them. Can you give me another ring, maybe it's 8 grams, for these 2? Is this something that's acceptable?
It's better if we do it the same way, like how Nabi Sallallahu ordered Bilal.
You will see that gold also can come in the same category, all right? Here you are exchanging 10 grams of gold for 8 grams of gold. Regardless of the craft, you know, the details, it's a gold, specific rule. And how do we get these things? Where do we get these rules? Okay, let's look at this. Okay, there is a few of these rules by Imam Nawawi that summarize this. Now, I just want to show you that there are a couple of these rules, and we're going to look at them later on and how these rules are derived. Okay, so before going to these rules, let's see where our principles come from. So the Prophet ﷺ said in one of these narrations, he says, do not sell gold for gold unless it is the same amount for the same amount. And do not make one amount greater than the other. And same for the silver. So what do we see here is, whenever you have gold for gold, what are the rules? What are the 2 rules we see from this?
Do not sell gold for gold.
So first is sell. So when we sell gold for gold, what is this thing?
Do not sell.
Same amount?
Same amount.
What is that amount?
The grams.
That is which riba affects if it is not? This will be riba al-fadl, of surplus.
Yeah.
So amount will be related to surplus. How much?
How much?
And what is the? And don't make one greater than the other. Okay? So sorry, this is actually, I went a little bit far, another narration. But what we see here is that rules for gold and silver are, don't make them more than each other. Now, the narration I want actually is the next one.
Okay.
I'm already on the next slide. So in this narration, Prophet ﷺ gives us another detail. And it says here, gold with gold, okay? Silver with silver. Then wheat with wheat, okay? What else we have? Barley with barley.
Dates with dates.
Dates with dates.
And salt with salt.
And salt with salt. Okay? Same quantity, equal to equal, and transaction being made hand to hand. So we have the number one rule. Whenever you sell these things, whenever it's equal for equal, equal
for equal,
equal for equal, okay? Quantity, same quantity for quantity, okay? And hand to hand, all right? When we exchange any of these. Now, previous slide we were saying that the same rule of riba apply on paper and electronic money. Okay, so there is no difference. So when you talk about gold and silver, same rule apply. Just because it's phantom money doesn't mean you can charge riba and not having to pay zakah and so on. So the same rule apply, although we say that money might be unethical in the way that it's not linked to anything and can be manipulated and so on. So this is a different discussion. We don't want to go into the side topic, all right? So same rule affect this money, all right? Okay, so now let's see. Is this, what do we see in these gold, silver, wheat, barley, dates, salt? What do we see in these things? Is there anything interesting that you can see?
We see that it's something which is measured.
Right, measured, okay.
On a scale. And also it is the same type. It comes from the
right.
It has the same quality in it.
Sure. Okay. Now, all right. Let's look at number one. Number one, is there something that groups these together? Is there something, some characteristics? Why Prophet ﷺ choose these? Like what do we see in this?
Storage.
All right.
Perhaps.
Storage?
Yes.
Okay. Some scholars say, like what you say, some school of thought, they have different interpretation, for example. Some say the way they are stored, some talk about these as edibles, this and this. Number one thing to notice here is there are two types of goods here. Number one is money, and
food
is commodities. Okay? And inshallah, after the break, we are going to continue this discussion.
Welcome to Tech Talk. I'm your host, Omar Shear. This season of Tech Talk, we will focus specifically on the internet.
A student would type their paper, and instead of handing me a hard copy of their paper, they would upload it to this learning system, this e-learning system.
I have some great experience when it comes to technology, and in particular, internet technology. Call to action is something that we do in our day-to-day lives, and maybe we don't realize it. Now we want to discuss, after you have a product and you have a website and you have a way to communicate with your customers, which would be your email marketing system, now it's time to take the money from the customer.
Welcome back. In this part, we are talking about the types of riba, and we are looking at different transactions to see if we can recognize where are some of the problems. So we said before there are certain commodities that were mentioned, for example, before, such as gold, silver, wheat, barley, and so on. Now, when we look at these, we could notice number one that gold and silver belong to the group of money, monetary assets, while the others belong to the group of other commodities. Now, different scholars analyze these to see whether beyond these 6, are there any other commodities that might fall into this area. So some of the school of thought might say, for example, these 6, what is the common characteristic is that they are edibles, staple food. Some might say feature or the reason that unites them is the way they are stored. Okay, so these are different schools of thought, they have different. Now, some school of thought, which I found maybe more precise, like for example Hanafi, they say, and this is quite strong definition in my view that I have seen, and many contemporary scholars follow, is that the distinctive feature here is the way these things are bought and sold, through weight or measurement. Okay, so this is something that makes them unique. So for example, their feature is that they are fungible, so identical. They are kind of a staple goods, and therefore, according to this, they are bought and sold on weight or measurement. What does that mean? Let's say wheat. Okay, how do we buy wheat?
You say I need a kilo or
on kilos.
On kilos.
So by weight or measurement, as we say, any of these. How about bread? Would bread come under ribawi item? Bread is made from wheat.
Bread wouldn't come because it's been processed.
Bread we don't buy by kilo.
Yes.
We buy 1, 2. So this is something that gives us indication. So that means, for example, other grains like a rice or a corn could be possibly seen by majority of the scholar as items that comes under the same, because they are bought in the same way like these other, and they represent other staple foods. So like rice, corn, other grains, and sort of thing. However, there is some difference of opinion, but most of what I could see is that this is a quite strong idea, that you see this as something that is bought or sold on weight. So if person, we said, wants to buy something from any of these categories, there are certain rules that affect these transactions. Okay, so let's see, we say number 1, when we talk about gold and silver, this is pure money, okay? So this is food. Second one is staple food, and they are measured usually by volume. So this is analogy that we see regarding different fuqaha, they explain these things differently. All right, so let's say now, if we want to go back to our types of riba, all right, if I give you gold now, and you give me gold later, okay? We said before, whenever you sell, it must be on the spot and equal to equal.
Yes.
All right. Same is for these other ones. How about when I buy this for this? How about if I go like this now?
At the same time.
Let's say on the spot.
On the spot. Why not? It's
Yeah.
It's two different items.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we said equal to equal, same quantity, this and that. Does that mean 1 kilo of gold must go for 1 kilo of silver?
No, it
No.
doesn't. No.
Why?
Because when it lacks the rules that we gave, then there can be a difference of transaction.
Yeah. So this is not anymore the same one.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is like, I call it like one family, another family. Is that different family like members?
Yes.
Different logic. This is like when we're exchanging currency. Gold and silver are different currency. So we are changing pound for a dollar. All right. So this means that fadl or increase is not in this transaction. We cannot say why you're charging more gold than silver.
Yes.
So riba al-fadl of surplus would not affect this transaction. Okay, what would affect it is it on the spot
Is
payment?
it on the spot?
All right. So similarly, if I buy something from other category, there will be no riba, basically. However, if I buy again in the same group, there will be some rules of riba. And we will go back to Imam Nawawi rules regarding this. let's look at a couple of examples just to see. I was at a fundraising dinner, Islamic, for one of the Islamic centers, and one of the sisters, she donated gold jewelry. So the guy took the ring, and he said, who want to buy this? They auction, I don't know, $1,000, and he says, okay, here's the ring, bring us some money tomorrow. Is this okay? Is this fine? So what is he doing? He's buying gold with money. Where is that transaction? It's here. Okay. Is it on the spot?
No.
No.
It's not. So it's not allowed. Okay. This is what we call riba of delaying. Riba and nasiya. So this is not allowed.
Even though if he's not adding a surplus to it, it still wouldn't.
That's it. It's not allowed.
And even though it's not from the it's different, but because it's not on the spot.
That's right. And comes in the same family of being money.
Okay.
Okay. So let's look at another narration. This particular narration is telling us about this particular rule. So one of the companions wanted to change dirham for dinar. Okay, and the other person didn't have his money with him. So Umar radiallahu anhu was there, and he said, don't do this, by Allah, either you give him his silver coins or return gold to him. See, what are they doing? They are doing this transaction, not on the spot. So I'm giving you my money and you're giving me yours later.
Yes.
So what Umar is saying, he says that Allah's messenger said exchange of silver for gold has element of interest in it, except when it is exchanged on the spot. And also wheat for wheat is an interest unless both are handed over the spot, and so on. Okay? So these are the narrations, and this is where we get our principles. In another, Ibn Qudama said that every loan in which it is stipulated that more be paid back is haram. Okay, now we said the loan transaction and sale transaction are two different ones. In the loan transaction, I give you what? Gold. You give me gold later. Okay? This gold for gold. In a loan transaction, doesn't have to be on the spot. Because Prophet ﷺ said, do not sell gold for gold. If it is a loan, like Kard Hassan, I'm giving you like as a brotherly gift, not a gift, but something to help you. Of course, we cannot do it on the spot because you need to use it.
Yes.
So in a loan, which are brotherly charitable acts, we don't count one condition drop, which is nasiya, having to be on the spot. But whenever you have sale, exchange, commercial, you cannot, because why would you give delay is to get more money. All right, so he said that any kind of, unanimously scholars agree that any kind of benefit from the loan, which is in general charity deed, that comes to you is a riba. So that means any kind of loan you get from a bank, if the subject matter of that contract is the money, any kind of benefit anyone gets, it's a riba. So whether it's your credit card or your home loan, car loan, student loan, anything you can think of, if there is increase, that is a type of increase that is not lawful. Okay, then of course Prophet ﷺ said that dirham of riba consumed knowingly by a man is worse before Allah than committing zina 36 times. That's a huge, huge matter. Okay, now what is the summary of these rules by Imam Nawawi? Let's see. All right. Okay, these are scholarly kind of summary of these rules to make us understand. So number one, he's saying when the underlying illah, or the reason for this, of the two goods being exchanged is different, then shortfall, excess, and delay both are permissible. So what are we talking about? So we are talking when, for example, gold for wheat. Gold for wheat, or money for a car. Okay? So this is the first case. What we are saying is that when these commodities come from different categories. You remember how we had money and we have commodities.
Commodity.
All right? So when these goods are from different families, he's saying that both excess and delay are permissible. What does it mean? I can delay one. So if I buy this, I can delay this, give this later. If I give this, I can get this later, or other way around. I don't have to do it on the spot. But this is when these are different. Okay, all right. That's number one. We have money for a commodity. So that's the thing. All right. First one, we have money for commodity. Second thing, when the commodity of exchange are similar, then excess and delay both are prohibited, such as gold for gold, okay, wheat for wheat, okay. What is the rule here? This is number 2.
The rule here is on the spot.
On the spot, so must be on the spot
And same quantity.
and equal.
Equal.
Okay. Here, do we have to be on the spot?
No.
No. Do we have to be equal?
No.
No. You can't make equal cards. Different things altogether. Okay. And what is the third one? He says when the commodities that we are exchanging are heterogeneous, but the illah is the same, as in the case of exchanging gold for silver. So we have gold for silver, okay, or yens for dollars and so on, or wheat for rice. Okay? In this case, he says excess is allowed, but delay is not allowed. What do we mean?
On the spot.
On the spot. Must be on the spot. What about, do they have to be equal?
No, they
No.
don't.
So we cross that. Okay? Yes?
The last one, will this be like in today's time, if I have, say, South African rands,
Yep.
and I want to exchange it for dollars,
Yep.
will this fall in the gold and silver category?
That's definitely. So if you have dollars, and you are exchanging it for what?
South African rands or Egyptian pounds.
Egyptian pounds. Okay? It would come under this. So they are same category, same family. Reason is the same, they being money, but they are not exactly. That's why we call this heterogeneous. You know, they come from different family members. Okay? So that means we can have in these 3 categories a riba here and here.
Yes.
There can be no riba here. Okay? Here we could have 2, and here we could have 1 type of riba, and here no riba. Now, what do we see here? That here this is a trade. You understand? This is a trade. So when you say trade and riba and they are arguing all this, subhanAllah. So why it is trade? Because you are using money to buy stuff.
Yes.
And something real has happened. So we give a time to pay, do this. So the profit here, excess is allowed. You are allowed to profit. Otherwise, we said, how you make money? How do you run business if every door of increase and profit is not allowed? Okay? So that would be really impossible. So inshallah, after the break, we are going to continue this discussion.
This is our duty. This is something that we need to do. With whatever language that we know, we need to understand the Quran. We need to get to know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, so that we will be steadfast on the deen of Islam. That's why the forgiveness is mentioned in so many verses in the Quran, in so many different ways and means, by the mercy of Allah, that the person would gain such a great level, and that is to be forgiven. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him speak clearly, miraculously in front of everyone, to defend the honor and the dignity of Maryam, the mother of Jesus, the best of all women. And the truth is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one worthy of worship, and He's the creator of the heavens and earth.
Welcome back. We are talking about riba and some of the rules regarding exchanging different commodities. Just before the break, we were discussing about several rules by Imam Nawawi when we exchange goods and money. Now let's look at a couple of examples. So for example, exchanging $100 for 150 euros on the spot.
Yes.
Is this okay?
Yes.
We agree.
It's okay.
What makes it okay? What makes it okay? They are not same. They are not 100 for 100. How can we do that?
Because it's from different families.
Yeah, different. Within that family, they are like different members.
Different
yeah.
members.
So in reality, when we take a course, you know, the exchange rate, they are equal, and on the spot, because they are money, they must be done on the spot. We cannot delay one. Okay.
Yes.
So let's look at another one. I have $150 for 5 grams of gold. Okay, in 1 week with delay. There is some delay in 1 week. Can we do that?
No. I don't think we could do it because either the dollar rate might fluctuate or the prices of the gold or how much it's worth on the market a week later it could be different from what it is today. And
so first of all, let's see, are they in the same family? Are they in the same group?
no,
Same like species?
no, they're not.
Money and the gold?
Money and gold.
They're in the same.
They're the
Same. So what do we know about this?
They are in
Which
the
riba can affect this transaction?
Al-Fadl.
Fadl?
Riba
Nasiya.
Nasiya.
So the time
The time.
can affect this because Fadl here, this is dollar, this is gold.
This is gold.
There is nothing called, you know, they are different.
They are different.
So they will be differently evaluated. So surplus cannot affect it, but settlement can. So it must be hand to hand. So this being in 1 week, this is not allowed. So must be on the spot. So whenever you buy that would, for example, be if you buy gold on internet or something when there is no immediate taking the possession. Okay, so you cannot buy gold on internet, yes?
Yes.
Because you cannot take it immediately. And so on. So there is some delays there. Let's look at another one.
When they say immediately, when we're speaking of immediately, could I say, for example, even if I say that, okay, my friend is on the way with it, you pay for it on the internet, the driver is bringing it to you at this, it has to be
in the same meeting.
the same.
Same meeting. Okay.
And if I say, for instance, if I buy something and I appoint somebody at the same time to collect it from me, so he's like representing me, would that?
If you have an agent or a wakil and he
Yes.
takes your money,
Yes.
he goes on your behalf and he pays and get it, that's fine.
That's fine.
Now he has to do it on the spot
On the
Yeah.
spot.
as your representative. He is doing on your behalf. So rules that affect you affect him. All right, what about this? 1 kilo of rice for 2 kilos of dates in 1 month. And you will see how this translates in modern economy. But we just want a few basic rules. Sometimes people, as I said, ask what rice and they have to do with, you know, this day and age. So we'll see how it has everything to do. So 1 kilo of rice, 2 kilos of dates in 1 month?
It's not allowed. Not allowed.
It's not allowed. So it's the same like this one, previous.
Yes.
Okay, so must be on the spot.
On the spot.
All right, let's see a few more. $50 for 5 kilo of dates in 1 month.
I think it would.
Yeah. So it
It's
is a
allowed.
trade.
It's a trade.
So there is no problem delaying.
no
So for
problem.
example, the Prophet ﷺ allowed, for instance, salam when he came to Medina. It's a type of contract where people used to pay money and get dates later on, okay, or wheat or whatever. And he, Prophet ﷺ, used to buy barley on the credit. You remember he left the shield and so on, and he would buy some barley on the credit.
Yes.
Okay, so we understand that. 1 kilo of salt for 1 kilo of salt in 7 days.
Unpermissible.
Not permissible. So they're exactly the same. So we need to do it on the spot. Okay, 20 grams silver for $100 check in 10 days. Okay, so
no.
I'm giving you some silver. You're going to give me check in 10 days.
No, it wouldn't be.
It has to be done on the
Yes,
spot.
that's
Yeah,
on
so the check is same like money.
Same
It
money.
represents the same
Yeah.
same thing. Okay, how about this? 400 square meters of land. So I have piece of land which is 400 square meters. Okay, and I change this for 200 square meters of the land. Okay, maybe this is in the city, this is somewhere in the suburb or something like that. Can I exchange on the spot?
No. No, because it would go back to the date example of them exchanging 3 kilos of dates for 2 kilos of dates, and it's the same, it's equal. It
All right.
comes from the same family.
Okay.
Right.
And this is where we have to understand, how is land bought and sold? Is it by volume or weight or anything?
By size.
By size, these things. So land would not come under ribavi items. Okay? You understand? So that means, although it's same land for a land, we can swap it, no problems. Okay? So there is no problem. It does, rules of riba would not affect it. Okay, so rules of riba affect only ribavi items.
Okay.
Those 6 commodities, plus depending which school of thought you follow, what else you add. Whether it's edible, how it is stored, whether it's, so these are few differences, but we say, for instance, in general, how they are bought and sold, on whether it's volume or weight. Okay, so this sort of eat edibles commodities. Okay, so land would not come into this, so you can exchange the land. Okay? All right, let's see this one. You have house, okay, you have a house, and you exchange it for $300,000 in 5 years. Okay? So you get a house, you give a house, but money is going to come later. It's not a spot transaction. Is this permissible?
I think so.
Yes.
I think it's trading, right?
So it is a trade.
It is a trade.
Okay, there are different ones, and also house is not one of the ribavi commodities anyway. So you can, there can be no riba of surplus or of delaying. So that is a fine that you can pay in installment over the time and so on. Okay, how about I want to change the car, one type of car, okay, for another type of car, plus some money. Okay, so I'm changing car for a car, plus I'm adding more money. Sometimes when you go to buy a car, you give your car and you buy maybe new car, but you have to add some more money with your car. So you say, okay, I'm going to sell you my car plus $10,000, you give me this new car. Is this something that is allowed on the spot?
It is allowed. Allowed.
What do you think?
I think it wouldn't be I'm not sure, but
so what's your thinking? How you analyzing?
Because unless maybe he sells his old car and says that my car is worth so much.
Yep.
So then, according to the value, not trading the same.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're looking at that narration by Bilal when he was exchanging dates. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Now here again, because car does not come under ribavi items,
so
I'm allowed to negotiate whatever I want. I can exchange. So I can in fact add some value or anything with the car and buy it for the other car. So I'm allowed to make this trade. It does not come under the rules of riba. It comes under normal trade. Okay. Now how about this? I give someone, let's say I sold a car, okay? Now, I sold the car for $100 or 100 something. That person is giving me money in installments. Every month, 10 times, okay? And he will start in 1 month, okay? So we have 10 times 100 installments. Now, how much is this altogether? 1,000. Okay. All right. So this is a debt. I go to you and I say, look, I don't want to wait 10 months for this. Give me 900 now and you collect the rest. You wait. You will make a profit, no problems. Can I do that?
No, because isn't that would go back to the example of what the banks did, selling something that's not in their possession, correct?
I sold car, it was in my possession. I sold it and then I gave it.
No, but selling the debt.
Debt?
Yeah.
All right. So what are we doing here? We are selling, what is this?
Selling a
That's
debt.
a debt.
This is a debt.
Yes.
Okay. Now we said debt and money, they are the same thing. What are we looking at? Is this. Yeah? So we are looking how much is that debt, not how it is going. Okay? So it is 1,000. Now exchanging this for 900 is exchanging money for money in unequal ways.
Yes.
Okay? So this is riba again.
Riba.
Okay? So debt can only be transferred to someone at par, at the same level. We cannot discount debt. Okay? So this is why we see some banks, unfortunately, when they sell house on Murabaha, for example, they bundle it together and then they sell it at less money. We would say that this is not right. This is a discounting of a debt is not something that is permissible. All right, let's look at a few others. I say I give you a car in 7 days for cash now, like I'm manufacturing the car, I'm building the car and a special car, customized car for you. And I'm going to give it to you in 7 days, you pay me now. Is this something that is allowed?
Yes, because like we said, car doesn't fall in ribawi items.
Yeah, and this is what we will see as a manufacturer type of contract, like istisna, where I build something for you.
Yes.
And then I sell it for you. And I'm allowed to take money now. Although this is exception because this car would not exist at that moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Same dates in 1 year, $10 now.
Same like istithna.
Same like what we said before. All right. How about I give you iPhone and you give me computer in 1 month?
These are riba items.
Yeah, so these are not ribawi items. We can kind of organize these. What about I give you Nokia phone for iPhone? Can I exchange?
The same.
So it's also saying these things, you do whatever you like. Okay, how about, it doesn't fit on this screen, but it says here, I give you diamond. Okay, now I don't know how you write diamonds, but something like this. I give you diamond, I sell it online for money with delay. Okay, am I allowed to buy diamond online?
No.
Why?
Because diamond has a weight in it.
Okay.
It's it has one of the it is also like because it has one of the qualities of.
So you would consider it to be money or something?
Money. Yes.
Would you consider it? Would be diamond would diamond come under the category of the money? Did ever anyone use diamond as a money, as a medium of exchange or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Never.
Never.
Never happened. So money, no, it's not money.
It's not money.
it is its own special category, like a jewelry. Okay?
Sure.
And diamonds usually, so in general, there is no problem buying it with delay. However, when you're buying diamond online, diamonds are something that you cannot easily describe. There is certain features of the diamond that might have some other problems. So in general, you should not buy it unless you can specifically make picture available or some description so we clarify what it is that we are buying. Okay, so that is all that we have today. So inshallah next time we're going to look at a few more examples. I hope you can join me, inshallah. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.